I miss the people. How are you guys doing? I'm fantastic. This is I'm starting to film this at 9:45, so 11:45 Eastern. So it's a little late. The show's been over for a while, but I had to freaking tend all my little cousins who love wrestling. They wanted to watch wrestling tonight. So they all roll up and they're just chilling, so that we had to wait for them to leave, get on out of here, and here we are. But this is the Raw review for October 8th, 2012. Show starts off with John Cena, the returning John Cena. He's been gone for what seems like a year. It was really just a week. But he comes out, he's excited to see everybody. I missed you guys. It's been so long. Talks about, like, what's been going on. He talks about how Cesaro dumped his hot girlfriend, and now he's just whatever. And that Daniel Bryan and Kane are psychos, and CM Punk's just, still won't fight him. So that's basically the whole point of this thing, is building on the Punk thing, and he basically ends up saying Punk isn't a man. And that was the gist of it, and that Punk needs to accept his challenge and, like, fulfill his legacy and fight him at Hell in a Cell. So it's not bad. I mean, they're trying here, so it wasn't that bad. I don't hate Cena, so I was cool with it, whatever. Then, while Cena's still chilling, Ryback comes out, and I was like, yes, fight John Cena. But he didn't. They just had their little passerby on the way, like, so it's back to two. Two is better than one, apparently. We get Ryback versus Primo and Epico. And clearly Ryback was going to win this match, and he did. Got them both up there, drops the hammer on him. I feel like Rosa Mendez should have, at the end of this, been so embarrassed she just switched to Ryback's team, and the Ryback got, Rosa Mendez as his new manager as a consolation. Wasn't to happen, but would have been a great idea. And then we get Brodus Clay and R-Truth coming out, and I guess they were going to have a match. But then something about little Jimmy puberty wants to dance, so they all just start dancing for a while. Vinnie Mac, the boss, ends up interrupting on the screen and is like, all right, this is awesome, but I gotta talk, so you guys leave. So they didn't care. They're having a great time. They're just dancing down the aisle like, whatever. So then Vince comes out for his promo, the big State of the WWE address. But before, he starts, there's big red monsters running around and goat-faced guys and, all this. He starts talking about whatever. All of a sudden, CM Punk comes out and he starts talking. He's just, he goes into the whole thing about how he is, the state of, there's no respect. The state of the WWE is CM Punk. And how back when he cut his big promo, he said he was just a spoke on the wheel, but he is the wheel now. Hashtag I am the wheel. But, so, it made sense because it's true. Back then, CM Punk was just some guy. Now he's up here. So it made logical sense. And he starts talking about, what am I saying? Oh my gosh, what was the basis of what was going on? Oh, he basically talks about, you've been slapping me in the face for years. And then he just, slaps him. He just slaps him. And then Vince freaks out and starts challenging. He challenges him for a match later. I'm not going to fire you, but I'll fire you if you don't get a match with me tonight. I was like, what? I was like, Vince McMahon can't even walk anymore. I don't even wrestle, but no, he did. And again, in this promo, they brought up Stone Cold. So is Stone Cold getting healthy and we're building towards that match? It's like CM Punk and The Rock haven't been talking anymore. It's all Punk Austin, so you never know. Then we get the first semifinal match, PTP versus Rey and Sin Cara. Pretty good match. Rey and Sin Cara were flying all over the place. You know how that goes. PTP had some cool spots, but Rey and Sin Cara ended up winning. Not surprisingly, really. PTP, they were getting a push for a while, but Rey and Sin Cara are bigger. You pretty much knew they were going to win. Same with the other semifinal later. Well, at least we hope we knew who we were going to win. But Rey and Sin Cara end up winning, so they advance to the finals of the tournament to face the team that would win later. So we'd have to wait for that. Then you got CM Punk and Paul Heyman backstage, and Heyman just like, this is not a good idea. All this is going to lead to is a billionaire that's going to try to make our lives miserable. And Punk just like, you got nothing to worry about, so just staying confident and all that fun stuff. And then you get the Battle of Ireland and England. We get Wade Barrett versus Sheamus. This match, nothing special. They just went at it for a while. I like Wade Barrett, but I liked him pre-return, like how he used to be, I guess. I don't know. But against Sheamus, and, he's Sheamus, whatever. It wasn't anything crazy, but I thought this is like a big time feud. I thought, but it didn't really do much for me. Maybe they could do it, later on a bigger scale and be cooler. But yeah, Big Show was at ringside, and then Tensai comes out, and Tensai and Wade Barrett are beating up on Sheamus. He clears the ring of both of them, and then Big Show just chucks Sheamus out of the ring. And he clacks his head on the ground like hard, like concussions.com. But Sheamus popped right back up. Even in real life situations, he just one count. Like, no, my head is fine. But so yeah, they're building towards Sheamus Big Show. It's gonna be an interesting match. I don't know about it, but whatever. Then you got AJ. AJ had to get on TV. Her and Punk backstage, and Punk just like, "Are you worried about me beating up an old man on your television show?" And he's like, "It's fine, whatever." I was like, "This makes no sense." But anyways, then we get to the next match: Antonio Cesaro versus Tyson Kidd. I really want to care about Antonio Cesaro. I just don't right now. I mean, hopefully someday, because his freaking Swiss death and all that fun stuff is cool. But I just don't care. Like, I was just like, kids, you want to watch this? Who the heck is this guy? I'm like, well, we can't fast forward, so we have to. But needless to say, the kids were not feeling this match. I don't really care about these guys. Cesaro wins with the neutralizer. I mean, they can both wrestle, so it's not like the match. I just don't care about it. Does that make sense? But Cesaro wins, obviously. But then we move on to tag team action. Team Hell No versus Dolph Rio. But yeah, Dolph Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio. This match went a while. Like, it was taking up a couple segments. Daniel Bryan and Kane are obviously a big deal. They get like a lot of camera time now. Dolph, we love Dolph. Del Rio's whatever. He's hot and cold. But Dolph's new shirt is the greatest. But Team Hell No ends up getting the win here. Kane pins Dolph. I liked the match. It was interesting. It didn't make me like, oh, this is so boring. But especially with Kane and Daniel Bryan, nothing they do is boring anymore. Like, they're like on the ball. And then you get the Larry King and Miz segment where it was just like they were talking. It's Miz's birthday. Larry, no one cares about your birthday, but it's my birthday. And then Larry King says Miz is too boring, so he brings out Kofi Kingston. So the Miz is too boring, so you bring out Kofi. Like, come on now. But they talk for a while. Miz is just like, hey, don't replace me. And then Kofi freaks out on him, throws him off the stage, goes freaking Black Master, freaking brought back his Jamaican roots. Like, it was just a good time. But yes, and then Larry King's just like, thank you guys. Whatever. I was like, what is happening on Monday Night Raw? Like, the little kids would look at me like, does this always happen? I was like, yes, unfortunately. And then we get the second semifinal, Zack Ryder and Santino against the Rhodes Scholars in a match where it's like, okay, this is such an obvious match, but in the back of my mind, I was just terrified. Like, please don't. Just don't do it. Like, Ryder Santino, because it's Santino, you can never count him out because WWE always, likes. I was just like, just don't. And they didn't. Rhodes Scholars get the win. Rhodes Scholars will face Rey and Sin Cara in the semifinals. Looking forward to that match. I really am, because I really can't tell you who's going to win. I mean, I can guess who's going to win, but it's not obvious. Like, obviously they're going to win. You know what I mean? I do think Rey and Sin Cara are going to win, just for. Actually, I don't know. I'll think about that, but I don't know. And then the band comes out. Wow, he's just one man with two other guys. Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, and Heath Slater. Rewind that. Drew McIntyre, Jinder Mahal, and Heath Slater. One of the most random pair-ups of all time. One of the greatest. But they come out and just start attacking people, and they play the guitar. Everything I look for in a segment. Beatdowns and guitars. Punch, punch, air guitar. That's success to me. And then we get Caitlyn versus Eve for the title. Caitlyn makes Eve tap out. She won't let go. Layla's like, hey, let go. Just, okay. Eve is still the champ. That's just it. And then Del Rio backstage, he gets told that Orton is coming for Del Rio, and Del Rio was not happy about this. Orton's just somewhere just saying, not here, boys. Just listening to the freaking radio in his headphones somewhere, just ready to RKO everyone. And then we get to the main event of the evening. Vincent Kennedy McMahon versus Phillip Brooks, CM Punk. Before the match starts, Vince is coming out. Punk attacks him from behind. It was a beatdown. He just attacks from behind. He's hitting him with knees and elbows and just like up against the ring, just pounding on him. And you're just like, oh, it's going to be that thing where he beats him down and someone else comes out and nothing happens. But no, it wasn't that at all. Punk starts beating on Vince McMahon. They finally get in the ring. They're going crazy. But then it started going back and forth. Vince started getting the upper hand. And at one point, they're out of the ring. Vince throws CM Punk, over the table. Vince's eyes bleeding. Punk's on the ground. He's just wailing on Punk. And then they go back in the ring, and Vince has the title, and Punk's trying to get the title. Vince has a kendo stick, and Punk's just trying to weasel his way in there. Then he gets a kendo stick. All of a sudden, it's real intense. No one makes a sound. Everything looks like it's Star Wars now. They're just like, I wanted to mute the TV and start playing the song that plays at the end of Star Wars Episode 3, where freaking Obi-Wan and Anakin are just like, don't do it, CM Punk. Like, they were just lightsaber fighting. It was the greatest of times. So they get in there. They have some duels for a sec. Vince actually ends up getting the upper hand, and then Punk's like, no. Uppercut to the nuts. And he beats him down with a stick. 2 sticks. Beating him down, just going crazy. Gets him up for the GTS. Feed me more. Punk's face just goes from Ryback. The Ryback comes running down. I'm like, oh shit. And Ryback comes down, and Punk's like, yeah, bring it. Slides out like a real man. I ain't trying to deal with that. But then all of a sudden, Punk's standing there. I hear the crowd go freaking. I'm like, oh no. Cena runs up, gives him a left, and throws him back in there. Ryback almost decapitated our champion. He clotheslined him like none other. Punk almost did a full backflip. It was nuts. And then he gets him up, going for it, and Punk gets out of there, grabs the title, heads through the crowd. And then in one of the low-key things, because, I mean, it was obvious to me, but I was looking on Twitter, and not a lot of people were talking about it. I mean, there were a lot of people talking about it, but like I figured, like, there were some people just talking about like the segment. But Punk's up in the crowd, and it goes to Vince, and Vince is like, hey, and it go up there, and CM Punk's chilling in the crowd. He straight turns around, elbows a dude in the face, and gives him a punch. He nails one of the dudes. Like, if you have it taped or whatever, and you didn't see it, I was like, what? I had to rewind it, and I watch it in slow motion. He's just sitting there. Well, he shoves the kid right on camera first, but then he just turns around and right hooks this dude in the face, and then like Superman punches the guy right in the face. Why would you do anything to CM Punk when he's in the crowd? He will mess you up. But I was cracking up. He's just sitting there looking at Vince. All of a sudden, he just turns out, bop, Superman. I was like, what? CM Punk's going ape shit. But it was awesome. Don't pick a fight with CM Punk in the crowd, especially when he's pissed off. He just clocks the guy. But Vince McMahon's like, at Hell in a Cell, you can either face Ryback or John Cena. And I think this is, and I was pumped. I don't know, I know a lot of people don't like Ryback. I love Ryback. Did you hear the reaction Ryback got? Come on. Like, the match would work. I want to see it. I don't know if I want to see it yet, but I think the whole giving him a choice thing maybe shows Cena's not as ready as they think. So if Cena can get ready, it'll be Cena. If not, they have it there for a backup, and they're starting to build towards so they can build both to, depending on what happens. Whew. But I was just at the end of Raw. I was just like, what? It went from just Vince McMahon and CM Punk beating the crap out of each other. I'm like, what is going on? To thinking Vince is going to catch a GTS, to Ryback, to thinking, oh, just another stare down, nothing's going to happen, to a clothesline on Punk, to, oh crap, Punk's about to get nailed, to CM Punk elbowing a guy in the crowd, to now it might be CM Punk Ryback at Hell in a Cell. Raw was kind of a lull until the last segment, and it just got nuts. Like, there was just too much stuff going on. It was awesome. I was just like, what the hell is happening? But, so yeah, take Raw for what you will. I didn't really care for it up until the end segment, and then it just got nuts with so much stuff going on. I thought the end was awesome. Like, I was just like, what is happening? I was with a bunch of little kids, too, so they were just like, what the heck's going on? So I thought it was cool, but leave your comments below what you thought of Raw. The champs stay the champs until we get beat. But, yeah, so subscribe up above if you haven't. I haven't got to say that for a while. That's fun. Subscribe to the Tree of Woe Show. Like this video over here. You'd think we'd figure this out by now. Like this video. Subscribe. Leave your comments below. I will see you later. Triple salutes. Goodbye.